video series is sponsored by Black Wall Street, the board game. Real people, real businesses, real possibilities. Join our Facebook group for updates and sales promotions. Check out our website, trueforever.com. Hit the tab, Black Wall Street, the board game. Real people, real businesses, real possibilities.
Welcome back, y'all. DreamCatchers episode 6. We got another lovely guest. Big dreamer, ambitious, wants to serve the community, and takes pictures. So I'm gonna pass it on over. I'm gonna stop on talking. Do your thing, introduce yourself, what do you represent, and all that good stuff.
Thank you. My name is Pojim. I'm a third year public policy major here at the University of California, Riverside. I study public health and population policy, more specifically, what I want to do as far as my ultimate goals. I'm a dreamer, of course. That's why I'm here. I love, innovation. I love being multifaceted, kind of mixing different industries together to make an impact. I also take pictures. I am a creative portrait photographer, more specifically. So, graduate pictures. Hey, if you graduated, man, if you still need some pictures, I'm your guy for you. But yeah, definitely. I am a photographer. I do like to specialize in portraits, and I just feel like taking portraits kind of invokes more of an emotional response from people, as opposed to taking pictures of like landscapes, bridges, beaches, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm about. So.
Got you. Okay. Can we go to the backstory of Mr. Tim? Where are you from, and maybe how did you first get into photography?
So I'm originally from a small town here up in Northern California, Tracy, California.
Yeah, I know where Tracy's at.
People watching this video might not really know where I was at, but the best way to describe it is like an hour away from the Bay Area, an hour away from Sacramento. That's
right outside of Stockton.
Outside of Stockton, pretty much, yeah. So I was raised over there. I've been there since I was like 4 years old, and then eventually I ended up moving back to San Jose, California. But growing up in Tracy, I went to elementary school, middle school, high school out there, so pretty much most of my life. But it was really more of a small town, so I never really got to experience like the excitement of the Bay Area, the excitement of like a bigger city like that. So not really much to do. I kind of had to get interested in something. I did play sports. I run track and field, but other than that,
What's your 40 time?
I hate that question.
What's your 40 time?
I see. The thing about that is I'm 100 for the track and run 100
so
and 200.
So it's slow.
So it's okay. We can do a segment on the 40-meter dash in the upcoming video. We can run the 40 together. I'll race. I'll race.
I'll get a head start. Let's get it.
But so I have been running track and field since high school, but also I got a little bit. The thing about photography, I didn't really get interested in photography until. I've always been interested in it, but I didn't actually pick up a camera for the first time until I was actually my second year in junior college. So I had a friend named Ross back home, does music, also did photography. Also did photography, did music as well. And then I used to hang around him a lot. When you hang around somebody for so long, it's like your best friend, you kind of get interested in things that they're interested in. So I was like, hey, I want to learn how to use a camera. I want to learn how to start taking pictures and stuff. And eventually, it was my second year in junior college. I ended up going back to San Jose, going to DeAnza College. Also ran track over there, and I kind of started picking up. I just picked up a camera. I was like, I want to, when I'm not running, I want to take action shots for the team. So I just want to learn I want to pick up something new. I want to become more creative in the things I do. So I'm like, hey, let me pick up the camera. Got the camera, and all of a sudden I started taking all these pictures. I just went out one day to San Francisco.
What was the first camera?
First camera was a Canon 60D. Canon 60D. Those are really good beginner cameras. Not necessarily for someone who just a regular, stay at home. You don't want to take family portraits. It's more so a beginner camera in the terms of you want to eventually expand to something more creative. You want to do big things with photography. So it was perfect. It was a perfect camera for me. It's not too complex. It wasn't expensive either. I wasn't trying to spend a whole bunch of money on something I just started out on. But yeah, it was a good camera. Got a lot of good shots with that. I remember the first day I actually went out and took some pictures. I went out to San Francisco with my friend Ross. He was the one, put me on all the photography knowledge starting up. And we started taking a whole bunch of pictures at all these nice beaches and all this nice, what is it called? It's called Sutro Bass. It's called Land's End in San Francisco. If you haven't been there, check that out. It's really
So
nice.
what? Land's
End. Yeah, if you haven't been there, check that out in San Francisco. But we just went out there, started taking a whole bunch of pictures, and then I'm just like, hey, I can go somewhere with this.
You're like, I'm nice. I'm nice.
I'm like, it's kind of nice. I can go somewhere with this. So, yeah, that's kind of how it started off. And eventually, the more I hung out with my friends, I started bringing my camera around, and I'm just like, wow, like, I did. My friends started liking the pictures I was taking of them, and I'm just like, I did. They're like, hey, like, you're really good. I'm like, oh, thanks. I'm just starting out, but I was just thought maybe I can kind of go somewhere with it.
So what's the dream for pictures photography specifically? Like, where do you see yourself hopefully in 10, 15 years with your photography?
So 10, 15 years, I see myself doing more portrait work, or primarily studio work for bigger and bigger people as time goes by. Of course, we're in Southern California. Within California, there's a lot of, there's a lot of talent out here. So I hope to, use my photography talents to eventually spread that, and so I can become a bigger resource for a lot of people, whether that be musicians, whether that be artists, painters, whether that be educators, motivational speakers, anybody. I just want to get my work out there as soon as possible and be available as a resource to as many people as I can. I want to get my work, obviously I have been taking pictures for about 2 years now. It's 2018, about 2 years, but I don't feel like, I'm exactly where I could be. So eventually as time goes on, I want people to see like, hey, like, I really want, to take photos with this guy. I think he can, enhance my portfolio. I think he can, just shine me in a positive light. So that's kind of what I want to do. Eventually, I'm also like a little bit into fashion. I try to keep up with that too. So eventually, there's a lot of fashion magazines, Notion, Vogue, all that kind of stuff. And eventually I feel like one day the ultimate goal is to have my work, one of my portraits published in one of those magazines. So eventually I'm still trying, I'm still working there, but hopefully, at some point in time, within the next 5 to 10 years, that's what I'll be working my work.
So portrait style, like when someone sees a Tim photo, is there something specific style-wise that you do, lighting that you do, editing that means like this is my photo? It's fun when you see it.
I would have to say, the thing about me is I feel like I could always expand and develop my style. But as of right now, like if you were to see one of my portraits like today, I feel like you would see, it would most likely be a studio portrait, with a luminant backdrop, red, gray, white, something like that. And the type of lighting I like to capture in my portraits is, very bright, very, full on, like expressing the features of, somebody's face. And somebody sees like, hey, wow, like I look really good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like when someone sees my photo, they see like, hey, they captured this person like in the perfect lighting, like, got their skin to glow, all that kind of stuff. Melanin popping. Yeah, so I feel like that's where I'm at as of right now. But of course, I'm still expanding in terms of, creative direction and, where I want to go with my portraits. I still have a lot to do. So that's where I'm at right now. Only 2 years into the game. I got lifetime to go.
Yeah. So me and the Queen might have to book you for something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Queen,
most definitely.
Photo shoot coming soon.
Most definitely. We will set that up.
So in the realm of public policy, because I know you're kind of doing photography, but also you have a major in public policy.
Yeah.
Is there something particular you're trying to do in that realm of health and public policy, helping the community, or is the real passion photography?
Yeah. Thing about me is I have so many different things I'm interested in. There's photography, of course. There's track and field, sports, athletics. Track and field is not the only sport I'm interested in. I like basketball, football too, all that kind of stuff. I only run track and field, but business, technology, medicine, government, all that kind of stuff. So, but in the world of public policy, I chose that major because eventually I want to lead into a career of healthcare administration. I just feel like like I said in the beginning of this video, I like innovation. I'm from, I went to community college up in Silicon Valley, and everyone knows the Silicon Valley, home of all the tech startups, all that kind of stuff. But I really do love innovation. So I feel like with healthcare administration, that would put me into a role that in the future that would allow me to, make the changes necessary in the world of healthcare. I feel like that's where a lot of the problems are, especially in terms of, relations to, African Americans. So I feel like me in the position of administration in the world of healthcare, that could, lead me to, reach out to different kinds of technology, a lot of developers to develop some type of technology and then implement those certain kind of healthcare policies to, improve the quality of care for people, especially improve the quality of care that African Americans receive, because obviously, it's not hard to find some studies that show there's a discrepancy between, diseases and, lack of healthcare between African Americans.
Heart disease, diabetes,
all that.
High blood pressure,
all that kind of
obesity. Come on.
The list goes on. And especially with minorities, so, me being a minority, I feel like one day when I'm in a position of, healthcare administration, I feel like that will give me kind of, a platform for myself to serve, these underrepresented communities. So in terms of public policy as a major, as an undergraduate major, of course, undergraduate work isn't the most serious work ever. I think it's kind of, laying the foundation for my knowledge. I'm still learning. It's kind of laying the foundation for what I know in terms of, policy making, in terms of healthcare policies that already exist, the errors in them. So it's kind of just so identifying those issues. So eventually when I'm in graduate school and then when I'm working, postgraduate school, I can, help solve those issues. Yeah.
So is there a way in your head that you can blend your passion for photography, health advocacy, or healthcare and sports into one type of company or one type of brand, something like that? Because I'm also multifaceted. I like doing videos, I like interviewing people. I'm also very passionate about health innovation, so I've tried to couple those into just one hub just to be efficient. Can you see yourself trying to do that somehow?
Yeah, I mean, of course, everything, that I do, I like to tie it all into each other. And I feel like in terms of relating my photography, my creative passions with, what I want to do business-wise, I feel like my photography can serve as a platform for my ideas and what I want to do in terms of business. So I feel like, I could use my photography, it can be like, hey, I'll use my portraits, I can do a portrait series on, African Americans, Black people to, shine light on, mental health issues or, any kind of like discrepancies in Black health, to kind of shine light on what I want to do in terms of the business. So let's say, I want to run a technology startup or any kind of like startup business that tries to help Black people with mental health. I could use my photography as a platform to kind of promote that, and vice versa. I could use what I do in terms of health, in terms of business, to promote, my creative side. So I feel like they all kind of tie into each other. But in terms of track and field, that's kind of a hard one. I mean, always, I serve God. I have yes, sir. I feel like what I want to do in terms of track and field, I feel like serving God and my ultimate purpose. Track and field isn't going to last forever. So it's kind of, when I get to where I want to be in terms of track and field, like when I get up there, in terms of almost at a, professional level, that's where I hope to be. I can always, let other people know that, hey, you can't, track and field isn't the only avenue for you. It's not going to last forever. So it's like, hey, shed light on everything else that I'm doing to show people that, it is possible to, be multifaceted, to do all these kind of things. So definitely, I feel like everything I do really can tie into each other in some way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Low key trying to do a 5K, like a True Hope Forever DreamCatchers sponsored 5K.
Ooh.
So track and field, that kind of, it's a jog.
That's
though.
a jog. It's a jog. It's a nice stroll. It's a nice stroll. Yeah.
So what do you see being your biggest obstacle moving forward as you're trying to chase your dreams, being published in Vogue, starting your own health administration innovation company? What do you see kind of getting in your way? That you're gonna obviously hurdle over because you're a track star, but what are some of those hurdles that are in your way?
See, I don't do the hurdles, I do the sprints, so I might trip over. Nah. Wow, that's a good question. I feel like there's so many things that can get in the way, but I feel like primarily, trying to chase some of the things I want, I feel like time will be a really big issue. Time is always an issue, but the way to solve that, time management. Time management is really important. Right. So definitely, and I feel like that's already, gotten away with a lot of things. There's been times where it's like, hey, I want to study or I have something to study for, but it's like, oh, nope, gotta practice, gotta train, or, there's been times where I wanted to, go out and do photo shoots, but it's like, hey, I got, this midterm on Monday, you know what I'm saying? So, but especially being in college, I feel like time is a really big drawback, especially when you're a full-time student, obviously, and you're trying to graduate. I'm a third year, so I'm trying to graduate next year, spring 2019. So the way my course settled and my term plans are set up, I'm a full-time student. I'm taking 4, maybe 5 classes. So it's like, hey, that's a lot of time. If you want to graduate in really good standing, it's kind of like you gotta really devote a big part of your time to that, and then I feel like that takes away. I'm not saying it's a bad thing under school. I like being in school, but it does take away from a lot of time I could be devoting to training. Time of that, a lot of time I could be devoting to photography, expanding my creative direction, reaching out to other creatives. So I feel like that time really is a setback, but again, it's all about balance. It's all about knowing when to do the right thing at the right time, knowing when.
So if time is pressed, which one do you pick? Like you're hecka busy with midterms, training for track. What's the one thing that you're gonna set aside 2 hours to do? Is it photography? Is it studying more on health administration stuff? Is it reaching out to Vogue or fashion people?
Probably, if I had to pick one, I would rate most of the time, 90% of the time, I'm, researching. Not necessarily, I'm not always, I'm not gonna say I'm always in my books, you know what I'm saying? I'm always studying for something, but I'm definitely always researching. The internet is really resourceful. A lot of people, the internet is really resourceful. You can honestly do a Google search on just about anything, and pretty much anything that you're interested in, you'll find so much knowledge on what you want to do. Literally, I'd like to say in terms of healthcare administration, just because there's no specific major for that at UC Riverside, I feel like I've learned so much through the internet, reading so many articles, like more than I've learned, in school.
Teach me something.
Just because, like for example, nowadays a lot of hospitals, a lot of clinics are trying to implement artificial intelligence into their healthcare systems. For example, using artificial intelligence when it comes to radiology. So making it easier to identify diseases, trying to influence or trying to implement new preventative care technologies into hospitals, so we can prevent diseases or prevent illnesses before they even happen. So
future medicine,
exactly,
right?
Future medicine. It's like I wouldn't have known that if I didn't go on. Also, LinkedIn is a really important resource. There's a lot of important knowledge there. And the thing about LinkedIn as well is you can connect with people that are on kind of the same path as you, and you guys can share information. So that's why I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, reading articles and all that kind of stuff. But definitely, I feel like back to your question, I feel like a lot of people. Me specifically, I feel like if I had to choose one thing to spend my time on, I think I'd spend the most time, researching what I want to do in the future. And then it comes, track and field photography. Those are things that are kind of at the same level of importance in terms of my long-term goals. So I feel like those two are kind of at the same level. But for the most part, researching, studying what I want to do later on is what I spend most of my time on.
Gotcha. So other than the internet, which is obviously the best resource anyone can use, what are other resources or tools that you've used? Maybe the current camera you're using, editing equipment, or people that you look up to in the photography space?
Yeah, so I actually, when I was going to junior college, I was in the Bay Area, and the Bay Area is full of, creatives, a lot of photographers, a lot of directors.
Yeah, the Bay's great. It's cool.
The Bay is excellent. The Bay is excellent. The Bay is excellent. Bay is where it's at. But I love Southern California. I've been here that long, but I love it. I have nothing bad to say about Southern California. I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm not gonna say nothing bad.
It's all love.
It's all love. It's all love. It's all Cali. It's all love. You know what I'm saying? But being in the Bay Area, I feel like a lot of I have been able to reach out to a lot of creatives, a lot of people who are are in bigger positions than me. Try to pick up what I know from them. But, if I have a quick question like, hey, what's the best camera I should use? Or hey, what's the what editing software to use? When I was first starting out, so it's just like people, I feel like people are a really important resource. So using people, people that are where you want to be, or, are also on the same path to where you want to be, is definitely probably the biggest resource you can have. And that's, when it comes to anything, when it comes to, training methods, when it comes to sports, when it comes to your, career passions, hey, they always say it's not what you know, it's who you know, what I'm saying? That's, everybody knows that. So using people, I definitely think using, like-minded individuals is definitely the best resource. So, yeah.
So internet and people.
Yes.
Use them both. Okay.
Yes.
Use them both.
As much as you can.
So next step, I know you have a YouTube channel, right?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about how you came up with that, who your partner is in that, and maybe just the general gist of the channel?
Yep. So me and my girlfriend do have a YouTube channel. You guys can go check us out at TimandKo. My name's Tim, her name's Ko. If you didn't catch that already.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my girlfriend. We've been together for about a year. Yeah. So, I feel like we have a really strong relationship, a really strong bond. And, I see this as we're kind of we're just pretty much best friends, in a relationship. So that's how, we just kind of thought hey, maybe we should start, we like to do a lot of fun stuff. We like to go on trips. We like to, cook. We like to just go places and have fun. So I feel like a lot of people would want to see that. So a lot of people maybe want to see what we do. A lot of people ask us hey, what do you guys do? Oh, you guys are, doing this and that. So we just decided, hey, we'll start a YouTube channel, we'll start vlogging, because we see a lot of, there's everybody does a whole bunch of YouTube, YouTube couples all over, a bunch of couple channels all over YouTube. So we're just hey, we can start something, show the people, what we're about, what we do. And yeah, we have we got some vlogs on there, cooking segments, sometimes we'll just make a video on a topic, we'll see some topic going on, popular topic on Twitter, and we'll be hey, we want to talk about this, so you know what I'm saying? It's just it's really casual, it's just a couples channel, what we're about, and what we do. Nothing crazy.
So with y'all teaming up, what's something that you bring to the table, your main strength, and then what's one of her main strengths? And then the other side of that, what's a weakness that maybe she backs you up on, and then a weakness she has that you back her up on?
Most definitely. I feel me being a photographer, I also obviously have a camera, I know how to work a camera, so it's she wasn't a photographer, she hadn't really had any experience with photography or, camera equipment, so, I kind of, helped her, start on that to the point where, she can, use the camera, she knows what to do, all that kind of stuff, so I feel like that's the strength I brought to the channel, and as far as her, I feel like she brings a lot of ideas, because she's more familiar with, YouTube couples and all that kind of stuff than I am, so she brings a lot of, ideas to the table of, hey, we can do this kind of video, or hey, she'll be on, social media and say, hey, we can talk about this topic. So she kind of brings the ideas, I kind of bring the, the kind of the technology aspect to it, I guess. And then also, the editing aspect, I feel like I kind of bring that to the table. I feel like my weakness is more so being more creative with it, because I wasn't really familiar with that many YouTube channels before we started doing it. So I feel like definitely my weakness is hey, what are we supposed to talk about? Hey, what are we supposed to talk about?
How does this work?
How does this work? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What are we supposed to be saying? And I feel like she definitely helped me with that. Exposed me to more YouTube channel. So obviously a lot of couples, a lot of videos and stuff like that. And once I saw that, I'm just okay, yeah, this is what we can do. This is where we should go. I feel like I kind of helped her in terms of video recording, editing. So we both shared those things with each other, and kind of on the same page now.
Nice. Yeah. Beautiful partnership.
Yes. Teamwork makes the dream work.
It does every time. So for the end of 2018, what are some things that you and Miss Ko would like to have done? So what are your photography goals, YouTube channel goals, but whatever you're trying to accomplish by the end of this year?
For me personally, I feel like, as I said earlier, the internet, also social media, is really important resource, especially when you're creative. It's a very, very resourceful platform for you. So I feel like definitely I want to expand myself in terms of social media. So Instagram, I want to expand my range, expand my following range. Definitely.
Wait, what are you at right now?
I only have about a little less than 2,000 followers.
Gosh,
Hey, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
That's a lot.
I'm getting there.
I only got 1,100.
Hey, I'm getting there. And hopefully, eventually I want to get to the point. I know it's not about the number. It's about, who's for. It's about quality over quantity. But, I definitely want to expand my range to, maybe the 5, maybe the 10,000 range. I want as many people to see my work as possible. You know what I'm saying? But as far as our YouTube, I definitely want to get up there in terms of subscribers. I want our numbers to skyrocket by the end of 2018. So that's kind of our goal.
The monetization structure for YouTube now?
Yeah. We're more familiar with that kind of with the AdSense thing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're definitely trying to get that established. 10K.
Y'all striving for 10K. So if you're on here, subscribe TimandKo, subscribe TH4 TV, subscribe Ari Marie.
Yes.
10K Club.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends.
Tell your friend. Tell your mama. Tell your auntie.
Everybody.
Oh man. Okay, so subscribers and more followers on social media.
Sir.
Any particular magazine or particular profile work you want to have done by the end of 2018?
As far as magazines, I'm still starting out, but there's this magazine called Notion Magazine. It's not really, it's not the biggest magazine out, but definitely they do shed a lot of light on, upcoming creators. So I definitely want to get my work, so reach out to them and see if they can, like my work, maybe they can publish my work, some of their issues or anything like that. So definitely I want to reach out to a lot of the kind of more up and coming magazines. Like I said, like I want to work with other people, so I want to help other people, expand their brand as well. So a lot of the other up and coming magazines, I want them to post my work, and also I can use them as a platform and kind of promote their platform too. Help me help you.
Yeah, mutual benefit.
Mutual benefit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Definitely. So, and as far as her goals, she kind of does it all too. She's doing, she's a health sciences major. She wants to be a physician's assistant, and I feel like her goals are kind of the same as mine. She wants to go into healthcare, obviously, and she's graduating the same time that I will be next year. I feel like both of our goals, are to finish school strong, keep those grades up, and kind of graduate with high honors so we can, get to where we need to be. Pretty much, yeah.
One of my goals and dreams is to have a holistic health center, True Health Forever Health Center.
Ooh.
So I'm definitely gonna, tap you in like 10 years. Like, hey, bro, I need some public administration, health work, and technology.
Most definitely.
See, it all comes together.
It all comes together. Mutual benefit. Benefit.
Beautiful. All right. Let's see. So I think we're at the end at this point. We just have one more visualization exercise, and then you get to kind of just blast everything that you're working on, where they can hit you on Instagram to get that 10K, where to follow you on YouTube, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So the visualization exercise involves some trust. I say this every time, as you probably know. So I'm going to have you close your eyes, and I'm just going to talk to you and take you through some visions. Okay, sir. So first we're gonna take some deep breaths in, deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in, deep breath out. One more time, deep breath in, deep breath out. So I want you to start off by visualizing your first camera, your Canon 60D. Visualize you and Ross going through San Francisco, Tracy taking pictures, and visualize just that nice slow growth and process. And then I want you to visualize the day you met your queen. Y'all first date. And then visualize the first video recording that y'all did. Picture your first graduation pictures that you've posted. Now zooming past to 2018, I want you to imagine you've reached 5,000 followers on Instagram and 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Consistent with your photography, you were consistent with your videos, y'all did great collaborations, and by the end of this year, Notion Magazine has reached out to you to do a cover story. Now with that same trajectory, that same work ethic, you and your partner, Miss Ko, are grinding together, feeding off each other's energy. Imagine where you are 10 years from now. fashion trends you've covered with your camera and the impact TimandKo have had on the community. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes for me, sir. Yeah, go ahead. Explain the journey a little bit about the beginnings coming from Tracy in Northern California. Maybe even share the story of how you and Ko met if it's a cool story.
Oh man, yeah. So definitely, I started obviously coming from a small town, so just trying to visualize where I came from and where I want to go. It's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? Like there are so many things in between. There's a lot of hard work that is in between all that, but I feel like putting in the hard work, always remembering where I came from, somewhere small, kind of visualizing where I want to be, kind of motivates me to, bigger and better things, to be bigger than where I came from, be bigger than, all the people that came before me. So definitely that's a great exercise for me, somebody like me, somebody who's on that path. And wow, me and Ko, when we met maybe about a year ago. Nothing crazy, met through, mutual friends and stuff. We actually just ended up, I remember our first time we first time we actually went out on a date. We just went out bowling, something casual. I was actually really late picking her up, so I was like, oh yeah, she might not mess with me like that. She was like, yo, this dude is late. Like, nah, it's bad. We ended up, growing like a good, very strong relationship as of now. Still building, but definitely come far in the last year or so. So definitely a good thing. But definitely as far as my goals and as far as her personal goals, we have a long way to go. Remember where we came from, kind of, always keeping that visualization, like you said, in mind, kind of helps us to, push forward, I guess, and when those hurdles come over, what I'm saying? Yeah. Kind of push over that. So definitely got a long way to go, but we're on the way there.
So what did that 10-year vision look like when you were imagining what yourself, all the ambition, all the consistency, what did that look like 10 years from now?
I definitely see myself working, as creative for big labels, whether that be, just my own photography, or whether that be, creative direction for the younger ones. Obviously there's people that are going to come after me, so I feel like definitely I can help serve as, kind of direction for other people. I want to help other younger people out when they're starting out, because I was just like them. I want to become kind of a resource for other people to use on their journeys as well, and also want to take my work to the next level. So 10 years from now, I see myself working for larger labels, larger artists, larger industries, and I also see myself catering to the young ones, helping other people on their journey to come up. As far as my career, I see myself opening my own, whether that be technology, whether that be just health services to underserved communities. I definitely see myself doing so. What I'm saying, definitely using what I've learned along my journey to serve people like me. What I'm saying, help underrepresented minorities, whether that be black people, Latin Americans, whoever that be. So I feel like definitely 10 years from now I'll be in a position where I am in the position to help other people. What I'm saying, whether that be in health, whether that be creating technologies to improve health, whether that be starting my own startup, whether my own business. So I feel like putting all those things together, I'll be in a position of I can help people 10 years from now down the road. So, yeah.
You definitely have the spirit of the Sankofa.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what the Sankofa is, it is a bird that has like an egg on its back, and it flies forward while it looks back at the egg.
Right.
So it's basically saying, like, as you move forward, as you gain your kind of your clout, your power, you should still be trying to help the generations that are coming after you.
Definitely.
Good stuff. Get on your Sankofa if you're not on it.
Please. Please. That's the way to be.
All right, shout outs. This is just your time, all your pages, if you got any events coming up, all that good stuff, go ahead.
So you guys can follow me on Instagram, of course, photography. Who doesn't have Instagram? Follow me on Instagram, what I'm saying? A-Tim, A-Y, 3 E's, then Tim, that's me. Follow me on Instagram.
Hey, Tim!
Exactly, just like that. Follow me and Ko on YouTube at TimandKo, TimandKo. Follow my photography website, tpojim.com, tpojim.com, for photography, as far as where I want to go as far as my career, and just a little bit more about me. So that's my social media. Give me a holler. Tell your friends.
Holla.
Tell everybody.
There it is.
There it is.
So, support. The better he does, he's on his Sankofa, so the better your kids can do, or if you're a young folk already, as he comes up, he's going to support. You already know what DreamCatchers is about, so if we come up, we're going to support. If this episode 6, if you've watched since episode 1, I need you to leave a comment, because I want to thank you personally. We appreciate you.
Yes.
All right. Final words?
Thank you, the big man over here. Thank you.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Of course. All right. Till next time, y'all stay true. Bam. Woo. Easy work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Of course.
sir.
Thank you for coming.
Most definitely. Most definitely.